Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Healing Outside the Box. My name is Jean Tiberio, and I'm a nutritionist and a wellness coach. Today, I'm bringing you episode 162, and I'm calling it, What's in This Thing? A look at popular nutrition drinks. I just want to let you know at the top that I'll try to refrain from giving you my opinion on one brand versus another brand. I'll just give you my opinion on one ingredient or another in any particular drink. Also, I'll focus on a few nutrition drinks, which are slightly different than the protein powders that you'll see at GNC stores or on Amazon. I did take a look at the nutrition facts and the ingredients list on a few of those protein powders, and I'll go over it briefly later on. Right now, I'll review 3 of the major brands of nutrition shakes or formulas. You can get these at most drugstores or on Amazon. The manufacturers have their own websites as well. Now, I thought that I wasn't shockable when it comes to promoting health products online, but I was wrong. I was shocked, I dare say, that the price listed for some of these drinks and basically what you're getting for that price. Most of these drinks are either a milk concentrate or some milk product. In other words, concentrated whey protein or casein or caseinates, which might be a combo. Basically, it's all milk protein. If they're not using milk products, they're generally using soy protein isolate or other concentrated soy products. These are all genetically modified soybeans unless they specify otherwise. This means that at some point they have been sprayed with Roundup, and more than likely you are consuming the glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup. This is technically a strong weed killer, but make no mistake, this chemical is hurting us. It's only a matter of time before we figure out exactly what it is doing to the lining of our intestines and even to our brain. Nobody can yet prove anything about these products that are sprayed with Roundup, but doesn't common sense tell you that it is not a healthy ingredient? Okay, it's time to get off my soapbox and just tell you what these products have in them, in addition to weed killer. First, let's go over the Ensure products, which are advertised like crazy and promoted in hospitals and nursing homes. Number 1. Ensure High Protein Nutrition Shake. This is made with milk protein concentrate, but is not organic. It also has some soy protein isolate in it, again genetically modified. So the farmer can spray Roundup on the soy. Proceed at your own risk. Serving size, and this would be an 8-ounce bottle, 160 calories. There are 16 grams of protein, 19 grams of total carbohydrate. Dietary fiber is less than 1 gram. You wouldn't expect there to be fiber in most of these drinks, but a few of them do have added fiber. Simple sugars, 4 grams. Sodium, 135 milligrams, not a big deal. Cholesterol, 20 milligrams, also not a big deal. Total fat, 2 grams. Once again, not a big deal. There's 40% of the RDA for iron, 30% of the RDA for vitamin A, 100% of the RDA for vitamin C, and 120% of the RDA, don't ask me why, for vitamin D. Here's the deal about all these added vitamins and minerals. You can pop a gummy bear vitamin, with iron if you like, for a lot less money. Ingredients. And don't worry, I won't torture you with the ingredients for all of these. Just a few to get a feeling for what's in them. So this is Ensure High Protein. Water, milk protein concentrate, corn maltodextrin, sugar, soy protein isolate, canola oil, natural and artificial flavors. I never know what that means. Magnesium phosphate for the magnesium with the added minerals. Potassium citrate, same thing, added potassium. Cellulose gel, probably a thickener, but it can also be used as a filler. Sodium ascorbate, don't get nervous, that's just vitamin C. Salt, carrageenan, which is an emulsifier, and that's a fancy word for saying that it blends all the ingredients together so they don't separate. Next, we have cellulose gum, a thickener, gellan gum, another thickener, a sulfane, which is an artificial sweetener. It's also known as Ace K, and it's often marketed under the name of Sonnet or Sweet One. Next, we have niacinamide, which is a harmless B vitamin, zinc gluconate for the zinc, calcium pentothenate, which is a B vitamin, red dye number 3, not so good, manganese, a mineral, folic acid, a vitamin, beta-carotene, that's vitamin A, potassium iodide, vitamin D, and B12. Now let's tie this up and put a bow on it. This is a drink with water, concentrated milk and soy protein, with a gummy bear vitamin. And this can be yours for only $31.94. That's if you order on Amazon Prime and order 16 of those little bottles at a time. Number 2, let's take a look at regular Ensure. Now, I won't necessarily go through all the ingredients, just in case your eyes, or ears in this case, are starting to glaze over. I'll just add my 2 cents for comparison's sake. So here is Ensure Regular, milk chocolate flavor, for 8 ounces. Calories, 220, 9 grams of protein, about 5.6 grams of fat, which is roughly 50 calories from fat. By the way, if the label gives you calories from fat and you want to figure out how many grams of fat you're eating, you can divide by 9. In other words, there are 9 calories for every gram of fat. Just FYI. Now, the sodium is 190 milligrams, not a problem. Potassium is 390, that's pretty good. But there are 15 grams of sugar, and this is regular, genetically modified sugar. In terms of the ingredients, this one has added soy protein isolate, a little more, and also a little more starch. So the ingredients are listed by weight. Water is the first ingredient. Then the second ingredient is corn maltodextrin, then sugar. And then we have our vitamins and minerals, lots of thickeners, emulsifiers. But this is interesting. Far down the ingredients list is turmeric. So they must know that people are going to look for that now, which, once again, I find interesting, for no apparent reason. There's also liquid sucralose in this, which is the fancy word for Splenda, and about 30 other ingredients. And it does list that it contains milk and soy, so people that have allergies can find it on the bottle. Number 3, Ensure Plus. Now, I mentioned Ensure High Protein, and this is Ensure Plus. So you may be asking, what's the difference, Gene? Well, they don't really tell you, because they don't want to shock you, but the plus is calories and fat. This would be for someone who needs to gain weight. So for 8 little ounces, we have 350 calories. There are 13 grams of protein and 11 grams of fat, which is about 100 calories. There is also no fiber, 22 grams of sugar, a little less than the amount of sugar in a 12-ounce soda, and this is only 8 ounces. So the ingredients are very similar to that of the other Ensures, but it is denser in calories, sugar, and fat. Number 4. For reasons I don't quite understand, they have yet another Ensure that's very similar, but they call it Ensure Enlive. This has got 350 calories for only 8 ounces. It's got 20 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, 22 grams of sugar, and high fructose corn syrup is the first ingredient on the label, which means there's a ton of it. There's a total of 45 grams of carbohydrate when you add all the sources together. And last but not least, 26 vitamins and minerals, which is 2 gummy bears. Number 5, Ensure Surgery Immunonutrition Shake. Golly gee, what can be in this? Here's what the label says. This Ensure Surgery Immunonutrition Shake from the #1 doctor-recommended brand Ensure contains protein, arginine, which is an amino acid, which is protein, and fish oil to help your body prepare for and recover from surgery. Each shake has 330 calories, 18 grams of protein, 4.2 grams of arginine, and 1.1 grams of EPA and DHA, which are omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so those are the Ensure products. Now I'll discuss a few of the Boost products. #1, Boost Protein Powder. This is simply the powder, which is a combination of whey protein and soy lecithin. So it's got concentrated protein isolates from milk and soy, basically. And all of this is genetically modified. Once again, contains Roundup. And you know how I feel about that. In this protein powder, there are no vitamins or minerals and no added sugar. It must be mixed with a sweetened liquid. #2, Boost Glucose Control. Here's what the label says. Boost Glucose Control Drink is a balanced nutritional drink specifically formulated for people with diabetes. It provides a balance of protein, carbohydrates, and fat, which are designed to help manage blood glucose levels as part of a balanced diet. Now, for 8 ounces, Boost Glucose Control has 190 calories. 60 of those calories come from fat, which if we divide by 9 is about 7 grams of fat. It has 16 grams of protein, 4 grams of simple sugars, and about 3 grams of dietary fiber. I've actually tried this and it doesn't taste too bad. It reminds me of the Carnation instant breakfast that we mix with milk. #3, Boost Max. This has 27 grams of protein, which I normally don't recommend. I don't know who needs to take in that much protein in a couple of gulps. So it has an unnecessarily high amount of protein and also a lot of sugar. There are 270 calories per 8-ounce bottle. Now I'll examine an organic brand of nutrition drinks under the label Orgain. Now, Orgain protein drinks are USDA certified organic. I haven't tried these yet, but I ordered one and will let you know how it is. These contain 150 calories per bottle, 26 grams of organic proteins, 3 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of fiber. It's advertised as ideal for healthy, on-the-go nourishment for busy professionals, moms, athletes, and students. They tell you that it has 20 grams of grass-fed milk. I assume it's the cows that are eating the grass, but I guess you might assume so as well. They just don't mention it. The ingredients are filtered water, Orgain organic protein blend, organic erythritol, a sweetener, organic alkali cocoa, organic natural flavor, organic high oleic acid sunflower oil, which is the same as sunflower oil, organic rice bean extract, sodium phosphate, natural flavor, gellan gum, organic locust bean gum. Those are basically thickeners. Tripotassium citrate, sea salt, organic inulin, and organic stevia. It's free of gluten, artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives. It's also free of steroids, antibiotics, and carrageenan. #2. Again, this is going to be similar. Orgain grass-fed whey protein powder. This is the powder that's a concentrate of the same proteins, basically whey protein and caseinates, which are all dairy. I'm going through the ingredients list now. As I sit here and nothing seems to stand out as being unusual. There are things like xanthan gum and cellulose gum, but those are thickeners. I wouldn't worry too much about those. And the sweetener comes from stevia. #3, Orgain plant-based vegan shake. So this again is a nutritional shake that comes in a bottle. The protein comes from a combination of chia seeds and pea proteins. It also contains organic rice dextrins, in other words, starch, and organic cane sugar, but not too much. There's also organic sunflower oil and a vitamin and mineral blend. This is 220 calories for 11 ounces, so it's not as dense in calories. It contains 16 grams of vegetable protein and 2 grams of fiber. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and free of artificial colors. Number 4. Last but not least, Orgain makes a children's organic plant-based nutrition shake. For an 8-ounce serving, there's about 8 grams of organic protein, 3 grams of fiber, and added vitamins and minerals. It's gluten-free and non-GMO. Some of these companies also make nutrition bars, which I reviewed in a previous podcast. I'll see if I can find it and put it in the show notes. But basically, the ingredients are roughly the same. There's a lot of them, meaning a lot of ingredients. But the bars also start out with either milk protein solids or soy protein isolate. The vegan ones will have concentrated proteins from soybeans, peas, or chia seeds. Okay, there you have it. So what do I think about all of this? Do we need nutrition drinks? And is it really just processed food in liquid form? Let's take the first question first. If there is nothing wrong with you, and I suppose that's a matter of opinion, you shouldn't have to take in and pay for these high-priced nutrition supplements. Here's the really great thing about our bodies. If our bodies are functioning properly, any exercise or extra energy that we expend should be compensated for with an increased appetite. And you really don't need that triple amount of protein, even if you're an athlete. You do need some additional protein if you're working out, but more than likely you'll be taking it in if your diet is halfway decent. On the other hand, if you happen to be, say, 90 years old or 9 months old, or have a disease like cystic fibrosis, your protein and energy needs are much higher. And this is measuring protein needs on a gram per kilogram body weight scale. If a person with special needs is unable to get enough calories and protein into them for whatever reason, then that person should see their personal physician or dietitian for recommendations that pertain to them. The same rule applies for an acute condition. For example, if a normally healthy person gets pneumonia, they may have no appetite and also an increased need for protein and calories. By the way, when someone has a fever, their need for calories increases sharply. So when I say, under normal circumstances, we don't need all that extra protein and calories, I'm excluding any condition that would place unusual demands on our normally highly functioning, magnificent bodies. So if we're otherwise healthy, we don't need all those nutrition drinks. Should we have them on hand in the event that, say, we are on the run and skip meals? Well, that sounds reasonable, but I do caution people against using them as a daily crutch to avoid eating real food. You could also make your own nutrition drink with organic milk, cocoa powder, and a sweetener for a lot less money. Now the second question, isn't it really processed food in liquid form? Well, yes. But processed is not necessarily a bad word all by itself, and occasionally is a lot different than all of the time. Which brings me back to the whole common sense thing. In general, I would keep an eye out for genetically modified foods, artificial dyes, polyhydrogenated fats, and high fructose corn syrup, or tons of sugar. If you have any specific questions about the ingredients in nutrition drinks, or any other food for that matter, feel free to contact me on my website contact page. It is healingoutsidethebox.com/contact-us. I'll also give you a link to that in the show notes. That's all I have for you today. Be well and stay tuned next week for another episode of Healing Outside the Box.